It is. All right. Katie and Dave show. Dave and Katie show. Uh-oh. Sorry, Dave.
That's
Dave,
okay.
Dave
It
and
could be yours this week.
Katie show, episode 15. Talking about
We think
kindness and the evolution of medicine.
first of all, medicine's not evolved.
I know we're working on it. So Dave, so we were just talking just a little bit prior to this. I went to a fascinating event. Dave show. Question.
Yeah, two things. First, once again, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Chris Jesse,
Thank you,
it's
Crystal.
a law firm. And I think you have a new guest that we need to introduce real quick.
I do have a new guest. Adonis is a new guest. He is a healthy 1-year-old, learning his boundaries, currently resting on Dante's back because that is newly accepted mama. And he doesn't listen. He's a typical teenager. He's a toddler slash teenager. Let's say that.
Yes.
And he's currently trying to get into this trash can behind me, and I'm not really sure why. But this is what he
Yeah,
does.
because you all feed them good.
24
So
hours a day. This is what he does. He just stands there and he just looks at me. He's wagging his tail. But look at those lips.
listen, a lot of women would appreciate a guy looking at them 24 hours a day
I
like
tell
that.
you what, it's amazing. Oh, here he comes. He's coming in. Come on. Come up here. Oh, God.
He's a rescue, correct?
He is a rescue, and he tried to pull me closer to him earlier with his paw, and I thought I was going to die. His paws, I've never been around paws like his yet. They're like this big. They're
That's
huge.
good though that you rescued him.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. See there? Look at that face. He's blending right in.
He's a big boy though.
He's very big. Yeah. You do a lot of damage, I'm sure. So, coming back
So
from a once in a lifetime event from last week to where I was at a summit called the Iconic Summit, and they did a wellness retreat there. And it was really, really amazing. But Dave, on the British Virgin Islands, that's where we do our psilocybin journeys. It's where we have our retreats, our wellness retreats, we like to call them, because there's so much more than just psilocybin. So these wellness retreats have two ceremonies, that's what they call them. Two ceremonies basically to where you're sitting in a space, you're outside typically under the shade, see the water, see the sky, see the rainbows, see all the things. And that's where we have psilocybin. And people go on this journey for, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. And it's really an intense state of meditation that people go through, and they're able to kind of be in the zone with themselves for 4 to 6 hours. It's much kinder, Dave, believe it or not, than ketamine. I'll tell people with psilocybin, like with ketamine moves so fast and it's like you're in, you're out, it's intense, and then it's over. With psilocybin, it's more like a chapter book to where it's intense for a second, but then it kind of dies off and you're able to reflect and people write things down. And then it kind of gets intense again. And then you're able to write things down. You're able to get up and go to the restroom. Um, but it's interesting to see the similarities, but also the differences between the two. Um, but here's what where we do
I
what?
don't get what you're saying about the
You do get it?
ketamine. No, I don't get on the ketamine. You said it's in and out and then it's over. I don't get what you mean by that. Because uh, you just mean the treatment itself, like the amount of
I mean,
time you're
so when you start
like I don't know IV and stuff.
Yeah, when you compare the two, right? So when you start ketamine is you're kind of like, you start and you kind of feel more relaxed, kind of more in the present moment, and then you just start reflecting on things. Things start coming to the surface, you're processing things, but it's a very forward movement with ketamine.
With what? Oh, I
Ketamine.
see.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. I don't have a clue. I'm sitting there, I'm fighting with you or whoever else. And I feel that drip start and then I feel it like starting to enter my body and I'm still fighting. And then I wake up and I'm bruised from where you've been punching on me and things like that. But
Get
that's it
better,
for me.
Dave. Get better.
That's all I remember. Like, I don't get this whole, and I've heard several people talk about all the things that they do when they're getting their ketamine treatment. I guess maybe that's why it's never completely fixed me because I don't know what it the heck it's doing.
Well, and I think too, Dave, I mean, it's very different, right? When the brain, if you're with ketamine specifically, and even with, with all the other psychedelics out there, if you're struggling with trauma, people that have a trauma response, it's a very heavy, full of energy response
Full of energy.
versus versus if people that are depressed, they're not going to have this like huge response to where they're trying to fight the world because people with depression a lot of times are just trying to survive in a different way, right? They're trying to not drown. And people with trauma a lot of times are just trying to fight the world. So it's a different response. So when you're kind of getting into that vulnerable space and you're have a lot of trauma, then you're ready to fight because you don't want to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is what you consider a threat. So that's why it's a hard
I
transition.
don't, I don't get that because, well, I mean, then explain, okay, so like with me then, I'm doing, because I mean, I think I'm just fighting to survive. Um, I'm not fighting to fight. I'm truly fighting just to
You're fighting
live.
to survive. And when you're in that moment of fighting to survive, a lot of people can get through that. And then it's almost like you're not having to fight the fight anymore because the fight's over. It's no longer bringing you down. But you're
But
but
how do you get to there?
you do it, you go do a retreat in the British Virgin Islands.
Okay, but then I need you to, okay, so, I think, didn't you say one time that, ketamine is more like PTSD based and mushrooms is more the depression kind of base. I mean, like they tend to work those issues better, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
ketamine's
It's
heavy.
like ketamine though, isn't it like it's smaller, like it does a lot of things. Like it
They all do. And actually it's interesting, like psilocybin and ketamine are very closely related from an anesthetic viewpoint. So it helps with pain control. Psilocybin does. It's really, really good for pain control too.
so is ketamine's not considered a psilocybin, right?
No.
Okay, psilocybin is
Drug in its
mushrooms,
own class. Psilocybin is mushrooms, magic mushrooms.
and that's it.
Yep.
That's only psilocybin, right?
Well,
Is
so
mushrooms.
mushrooms have psilocybin in them, and then the active ingredient in the mushrooms is something called psilocin. But mushrooms have like 600 different molecules in them. They're just a
So is mushrooms the only thing that has psilocybin in it?
It's a good question. I believe so, but I'm sure there's other things. Hey, I believe there's other things too. Um,
Hmm.
maybe, but for all I know, right? I'm pretty ignorant to a lot of these. I'm not a mushroom expert by any means. Um,
If they
but
make it legal, I might become one, but they won't make it legal.
right. Well, and it's hard with psilocybin to make it legal, with mushrooms to make it legal because it has so many compounds in it. They always like to ice.
Colorado did.
Yeah, they did.
It's not hard.
They did, and now, there's a lot of regulations in Colorado too.
That's okay. At least they have an opportunity.
They're trying. You're right. You're right.
I don't have to fly to the BVI to try it.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, here's the neat thing about mushrooms, right? Is they're, they have a wide therapeutic window. So you can take a lot of mushrooms, and as long as you have people around you that are properly trained and you're in the proper set and setting, you're going to be able to really, decipher a lot of those things that you're feeling. But are you laying down?
Dude, I've been driving all day. I'm tired. I'm tired. I
Well,
had to drive in
this is
the
our
rain the whole
30-minute
way.
podcast. I
I
know.
know. I'm setting up. You have to understand, I had no time to organize when I got here.
I
I
know.
mean, I didn't even
You're
get
just
to eat
you're
all
a
my food.
trooper. You're a trooper. Well,
Okay, so
so let
let's
me
get
tell you
back
about
to the,
let me tell you about
yeah, let's get back
Simon.
to,
So we made the retreats to where they're on Thursdays. You fly in on Thursday, you leave on Sunday, right? We do 2 ceremonies. Those 2 ceremonies, Dave, they're 4 to 6 hours in length, and they're literally like a series of ketamine, the back to back. You will see the changes in people in those 2 days that you do with ketamine, which is it. What's interesting with that is it's about the same length in hours actually that the treatment takes place. So it'd be interesting to see that comparison. Because 6
uh,
treatments over 2 to 3 weeks is about 4 to 6 hours times 2. Um, but
oh,
but yeah, but also
okay.
what we do there, right, is we do like we have activities. There's a beach down there called Smuggler's Cove. It's gorgeous. We do integration activities. People that want to go kayaking in the mangroves, we do that. We can do hikes. It's all inclusive with food and transit, so you don't have to pay for any food, no transit. And then you have one-on-one therapy, and you also have group therapy, and then we also have for those lovely people like Dave Shell, we also have a local islander who comes over and does like yoga and meditation with us. But it's
See,
cool.
do you have cheeseburgers
They do have cheeseburgers on the island.
and pizza?
Yep.
How's the pizza? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's not like your guy in Johnson City. It's more thin crust sometimes.
Um, so for $3,500, I'm getting
39.
some decent pizza, probably an okay hamburger. I don't want no yoga. I don't want no hiking.
No
I don't
meditation.
want no kayaking. I don't want no meditation. And if that's the only way I can get better, I think I'm screwed. You know,
Well, but here's the thing. There's a lot of people who
I
can't do
don't believe in those things.
There's right, but there's a lot of people that don't have, they don't have the people that can drive them to do ketamine. They don't have the three
No,
week,
I agree.
so if they don't have that, it's like just it's like take off a Thursday and a Friday, take 2 days off work. That's it. 2 days.
I don't know. I'm working today. I drove all day for my job. So that would be 3 days. I'm
Right.
just arguing with you.
But it makes it to where people here's
I
Smuggler's here's
I agree
Smuggler's Cove right here.
100%.
Can you see it? This is
So,
this is one of the beaches.
yeah, you showed me all of that, and I mean, oh, okay, so like after that 6 hours, if I don't want to talk to anybody,
You have your
I
own
don't
private
want
room that you can go to.
and if I don't want to be around anybody,
Yep. We make it to where people can be around people should they choose. But we made it also to where they don't have to be.
well,
So
what about like the therapy? I am
you don't have to do that
100%
either.
not a group therapy kind of person. I listen to people, I feel sorry for people, and I try to take their pain, which all that does is screw me even more. And then when it comes to individual, well, I only trust Kate.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, but
I'm not that you all don't have good therapist. By
Right.
no means. I don't mean that at all. It's just I'm 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 odd.
You're
You
not
know,
odd. We're all different, but that's the so we make it, Dave, to where like if they want to talk to us, we're there. If they don't, that's fine. But we give
I mean, I
everybody.
talk to you. I like you. You're okay.
Thank you.
I wouldn't talk to you about therapy. I'd talk to you about, I'd try to take some money from you somehow. I'd
Life
bet you some
issues.
stuff.
Give me a hamburger.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that but
Well, so let's break it down this way. I need you to explain it for a poor person that saves up the money that is, let's just say it's me, because that's who I'm describing. Poor person with very little money that would have to save it up, but and who just is not accepting of yoga and meditation and stuff. How am I getting value out of two treatments?
well, I mean,
That's I guess that
like
like
you don't have to do.
I'll listen. I'll give you $700 free just because that's a beautiful place from what you showed me over there. So that's worth my own $700 just out of pocket. So I need to. Well, no, I'll say 900. So where's my 3,000? Like for how do I get value for that $3,000?
Well, it includes your room and board too.
Okay, okay.
Room,
So that's
board.
about $1,000, right?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so
At,
room,
at least that's a minimum. At
yep.
least. Yeah.
Room, board, food, and then the ceremony. So a lot of people when they do ceremonies, they'll charge anywhere from 500.
What's a ceremony? Oh, that's the
That's
treatment.
that's the treatment. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
When people do that, they'll charge anywhere from 500 to $2,500 to do a ceremony.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so they're getting two back to backs with that.
Okay, how much to pay you to smuggle it back to the house? And I'll try that first. I mean, there's a little risk for you. Don't get me wrong. I know
It's fine.
you could go to
International
jail for a
customs.
while. Okay, don't worry about that though. Just
He was doing it for his
if,
mental health.
if you'll watch To Catch a Smuggler for a year, you'll learn the best way to smuggle it to where
Oh,
you can
really?
get
There's
it
a
to
show?
me. Well, yeah, there's a show called To Catch a Smuggler, and it's pretty cool how good they are at catching a lot of drugs. But if you also watch it, you can also learn the tendencies and figure out how to, no more than what you would
No,
be sneaking,
work.
you wouldn't have any issue with sneaking it in. You're
Yeah.
basically sneaking in personal use is what you're doing. No, let me rephrase that. You're not sneaking anything in. This is what I was joking about. I don't want you to smuggle any. I don't want you going to prison.
Said the police officer who used to look at all drug stuff.
Oh yeah, I used to think I didn't think there was any. I mean, if it didn't come from a pharmacist, it was illegal.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing about mushrooms and seeing them in the community. I've seen them out in the community a lot, at a lot of these retreat settings. And it's, what they'll say about psilocybin, and this is more so from the Mexican culture. They'll say that it's very, very kind to the brain. And it is. So people that are worried about psychedelics, like am I going to have a big, response, whatever else, psilocybin is a very, very kind substance to the brain to where you can work with it. So that's one thing that I like seeing because you're not going to have these crazy reactions and adverse effects and
I,
other things.
I think that's part of the problem is people have only seen mushrooms taken by college kids and stuff that just really get messed up on. I mean, when I was in college, not that I did very well in college, but when I was in college, I had a buddy that he took some mushrooms and we were in class and he got a little well, he got us kicked out of the
Took him and then he
class.
went to class. That's interesting. That's not the way we typically recommend them these days.
Oh, that's what I'm saying though. That most people, that's their experiences. Like they've not seen it from a microdosed medical
Oh, we don't do
procedure.
microdose.
Like
We do big boy dose.
no, but
Oh, right.
when I
Yeah,
say microdose, I'm just saying it's medically dosed. It's not.
sure.
it's not just take a bunch until you get high or you start floating to a fantasy world, and then we'll see where your travels take you. It's all calculated, like you're calculating
Right.
everything out.
Everybody yes, and that's one thing that we do is everybody gets a specific dose based on their history, their background, the medications they may be on, what they're struggling with. Like it's very, very specific. You're right. It's not just eat these 10 mushrooms that are in this bucket.
Right.
What happens, right? No, it is. And we look at all that stuff, right? Like people have, if they have acid reflux, if they have cardiac issues, and then we do, brain scans, we'll do, lab draws, whatever, right? Because we're just trying to help people.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There's the the thought process is you're not going there to get high. You're going there to get better.
Right. And maybe that's what they should do in the government is to say, all right, is it somebody who's licensed? Is it somebody who is, it's like the Good Samaritan Act, right? Is it somebody who's trying to do something to improve your health? Okay, well then let them do it. And have like a special category, Because if the DEA or whomever ever came in to talk to us, which they have a few times before, um, they all know that we're trying to we're trying to help. And it's nice when you see these organizations that are really, really scary to a point when they say, thank you for trying to help our communities.
Yeah, but the problem is that it's all controlled by monopoly of
Yeah,
companies
it's
like
all controlled by
farm
business, by money.
insurance. They're not going to. It's like you said, if you can provide me medically a safe environment to dose mushrooms for my mental health issues, then that shouldn't be illegal. But you you would not be able to have insurance on your company because there's no way in the world they're going to allow you to do that
I know.
because they can't make any money off of it.
Yeah, it's we're gonna get there, but it's
No, no, you're not.
we are.
But good. No, no.
Uh,
I
we
love this
get
part
there.
of our show where you get to say we're going to get there, and I get, well, no,
What do I
no, it's
get?
not
Do
going to
I get
happen.
like $50,000 from you when we get there? Payable over time and pizza.
Two things. One, um, I don't think I can live for another 60 years to pay you
No.
50 or to pay you $50,000. And two, you still owe me from, I don't even want to bring up how much you owe me from golf, driving range,
From
from
your
uh
video, remember?
hunting,
100,000
from
video.
hunting, from videos. But I think
True.
I think my bad experience dealing with the insurance company and the state on just like the work. I have no hope on either one of those entities ever allowing us to have a shot at getting healthy.
I do. I have hope because I'm seeing the system and it's taking a second. But one thing, Dave, I noticed, and I guess I noticed it today or yesterday. I was thinking about it, but I went when I go down to the islands, it's just a disconnect. And I'm still working, right? Still doing company stuff, still doing all the stuff, all the things. Actually, more when we're in the islands because you've got two things that you're balancing. Um, but you can still fight the good fight without having to be angry over it. And I've been very angry over the last little bit. When I kind of came to that conclusion of like, screw this, I'm done. Let's go. I don't care who I piss off. And I'm still like that right now, but I'm growing. I'm evolving to the point to where I'm not gonna get angry at these guys. I'll go head to head with them until, it ends, but they don't have to take my energy in order. I mean, it's like, I guess it's like a lawyer. Lawyers will argue for their clients, but they're not necessarily angry at the system. It's their job. So if I can get
I think I have to be angry in order to keep fighting.
You're angry because it's an injustice, and that's why I get angry because of the injustice piece. But my piece is like, I wonder if I can get to the point to where I'm not angry, but I'm just able to use that energy for focus, um, and push
I
forward.
use medicine for focus and they won't let, I can't even get it. So,
I know.
yeah.
Well, and
My thing is, I, I don't have hope, but I live through your hope
no,
and,
thank.
and,
That's why I'm chugging along.
you, yeah, and that's why I always feel bad about arguing with you because I don't want you not to have hope because,
I need you to argue
um,
with me because I need to show you. I need to prove to you. I got things to
well,
prove, Dave.
the thing is I pray every day that this will go away with me, and I do. I, I want to live, but it's not about like it's not about me. It's about the future me being what happens to someone else.
Mhm.
I
And that's what I try to tell you,
I
right?
just want to stop it. I want to give people
Right.
that are young an opportunity to flourish
And
even
people
with
that
these
we lose,
issues.
the people that we lose, Dave, that have struggled through your barriers in life, they're no longer here to help fight for those others for the future. They're gone. The argument's gone. We can't ask them questions. We can't. And that's one thing, like where you're such a big mentor to people, that you don't even know yet because you're fighting for their future.
Yeah, but that's sad to think that
It's
all
sad and it
these
sucks, but it's true.
oh yeah, I know, but all these people and I always try to be very careful not to just focus on like first responders or veterans or whatever. I always
Everybody,
because
yeah.
yeah, but in this case I'm going to just focus on first responders and say I don't see how when you keep piling stats up, the wrong kind of stats and the amount of suicides by first responders in this country on a daily basis, how somebody can't look at that and go, we've got to change things. And we got to change them today. You know what? They don't. They just say thank you for your service, or he was a good person, he was a well-loved person in the community. Nobody is saying let's we got to stop this shit. We gotta stop it, or we're not going to have anybody to service this country with medical, police, fire, none of that, because no one's going to get in it because of the hell that you go through when you're in it, and there's no support when you can't be in it no more. Why?
But
I
nobody
mean,
talks about it, Dave. You're like one of the first leaders. I know you don't like to hear this, but you're one of the first people that talks about it. Like, I didn't know all these issues existed. There's probably a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people, the first responders that don't know that these issues exist.
yeah, but we have social media. There's a post on Facebook every day about a family. Keep them in your prayers because their loved one took their life, but that was a firefighter, that was an EMS
We see
employee,
that. We
and
see that, but we don't see the
and not only do we see it, but people that can make a difference see it, and they don't because it's not their family.
well, but or they don't know how to, Dave. I mean, I get people all around me say, "Keep going, we've got your back, keep going," but they don't know how to. They don't know what to do.
Well, I don't get that. I, I, I don't get that. I don't get when a local elected official says, I don't know how to help. If you're an elected official and you don't know how to help, then you don't need to be in that damn spot. Okay, because what you do is you put your hands in there and you get in there and you dig and you scratch and you find out information and you put a package together because you're getting paid to do that and you're paying people to help you put that package together. And by God, you take it as far as you can take it and you get the support from your other buddies in those positions and quit being a candy ass. Your job is not worth people's lives. Okay. You can get another damn job. It's time to jeopardize your job by standing up and protecting people.
You're not
I
wrong.
God, that's what they wanted me to do.
Mhm.
They wanted to pay me 20 some dollars an hour to kick a door in with the guy behind it with a gun. Okay. And I did it because that's my job and I chose to do that job. Well, if you chose to run for an office, by God, it's your job to help us.
But you have to
Quit
think
being worried about losing your job.
a lot of people in leadership positions, and I hope that this is changing. Leadership positions used to do leadership positions because they wanted to make a good living for their family, be financially successful, all that. I'm starting to see people now that are starting to come to leadership positions because they're wanting to solve an issue that exists. And those should be the leaders that are coming up, not the ones that get just padded pockets, the ones that are literally wanting to make positive impact.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you? I don't know who your representative is down in that area. Why don't you, why don't you send them thing? They'd like to get on and discuss it with a panel of people
Ooh.
and see if they will. And you know what? Let's hold these people responsible. If they say no, they can't. Let's call them out on it. Let's, the thing is, I'm not. I'm no longer embarrassed by my mental issues. Okay, I'm not. I can't be because I can't help it. It is what it is. But I have no problem calling out people that can help other people out there, and they choose not to. So I'm a firm believer in calling people out by name because you know what? People are electing these people to be in there. They need to know whether they're doing anything or not.
They do, but that system is not, those people want their lawyers
Let's
and
change it.
people
Let's
represent
change
them.
it.
That's
Hey,
why
let's
we're
change
doing
it. Okay,
it.
send them an invite.
All right, who am I sending? Tim Burchett? He's one of them.
Whoever represents you all down there. I can already tell you what mine did in Greenville. Not a damn thing.
I know. He was interesting actually at a meeting I went to the other day where he was kind of full of crap too, and everybody.
Did you flip him a birdie for me? Just flip him a birdie. Say, this is from
No,
Dave
because he doesn't
Shell.
know me, and
This
I'm
is
just
what he thinks
keeping
about you.
my mouth closed because I'm so
Listen, I guarantee he doesn't remember me. I mean, all he did was lie to my face and then leave.
Well,
I
he
mean, no
lied to
big deal.
he lied to the group, and some of the other politicians that were there actually recognized that he was lying to the group. So it's interesting. And Dave, karma eventually, right? You got to keep
No,
in it. You got to keep
no.
in karma.
I'm challenging you. I'm asking you
All right, I'll do it.
to, and I just want to know who you invited, and it's one where, okay, first of all, you and I suck at keeping a routine up on when we do these. So it's not like we can't do it whenever his schedule is convenient.
True.
And I'm not out to bash him. I'm just out to, I would love to get his thoughts on it. And maybe he can explain why it's not as easy as what I think it should be.
That's
Because
sure. That's a great.
because with me, I think when you have people that you depend on and value in positions like first responders, that you would show them the respect and be willing to battle for them like they battle for you. And I need something other than excuses. I need a legitimate reason why that's not happening.
No, I think it's a great.
I'm truly not out to
I
attack
will.
anybody.
I'll send
I
Tim
show
Burchett.
respect.
Send Tim Burchett an email and ask. He's actually working on the Doge thing now too, and he's pretty open, or he's pretty out there. I don't know. People like him and don't like him, whatever.
Well, and that's fine
I say
because
he's
that's the
out
way it
there.
is in life.
He's on it. He posts things about what things that are going on.
Well, my thing is, I'm not trying to get somebody on here to attack them or to embarrass them. I want to get somebody on here that can give their side, that can do something I can't do.
Sure.
I don't have that
At least give
position of power
increased,
to do that.
right. At least give increased information so we know additional steps to take.
Yeah, I mean, if you say we gotta start somewhere, well, I'm gonna start there. And if they don't want to do it, I'll call them out on it because literally, I'll do it at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't care when we do these.
Yeah, I agree. I'll do it. Done.
Okay, don't forget to do it because I'm gonna ask you again
I'm
next week.
going to. I promise I'm going to do it.
And it may, maybe I don't expect miracles, but maybe it'll be a positive thing and maybe it'll open it up to where more people will be maybe wanting to get on here and talk to us about it and stuff. And but
We know the issues. Now, how do we solve the issues? And they are
well,
solvable.
are you allowed to talk any about that thing that I had forgotten about that you reminded me of that I came down to Revitalist that time and talked to those people in there in that room? There was some important people in there.
Oh, yeah, that for the state.
Yeah, where did that go? Nowhere, right?
Well, no, it went well. I mean, it did well because that was when those two old men were trying to close the clinic down.
Oh, okay. I couldn't, but but see, that's just it. When you get those people in a room and you were honest with them and
They're
you're
like,
able to
oh,
give
wow,
them
you're actually
and
helping.
you
Yeah.
and you're able to give them data, information, and
Right.
they see, then they tend, like in your case, they didn't shut the clinic down. Um, well, there's not a lot of difference. We're not talking about shutting the clinic down. We're talking about opening up your mind more to help us get better treatments, help us get affordable treatments. But it's like you said, mushrooms are so much more convenient for someone trying to get better because you don't have to rely on people to drive you for 3 weeks to get ketamine treatments.
Right.
And as you know, that's always one of the biggest issues
Mhm.
is transportation.
It is.
And I'm not real big on somebody taking an Uber or anything afterwards because you're still it can take a while to get yourself completely back grounded.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can't be done, and I'm not saying you can't trust Uber drivers and stuff. I'm just saying, ideally, we shouldn't have to be in a spot where we're this way.
I agree. Yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, we're starting to identify it, but it's still going to take a second because
Well,
there's a lot of people out
you
there that have very successful business models that are not contributing to society at all. It's only contributing to their pockets, and
I
those
have no problem with
that
people
needs to
making money.
change.
I do. I don't have zero problem with people making money. I have problems with people in greed. You
Right.
you know,
But that's what a lot of businesses are is great.
I I'm not saying I don't know. I don't guess you can ever have too much money. I don't think I could ever have too much because I can blow money if you need me to, like it's nothing. I just can't do that. But that's my thing. I don't have any. Company has to make money to stay in business. All I'm asking you is just don't be so dang greedy and
Right.
help people.
Right.
And in this case, the biggest help I need is I need people that can can make it help make a change, can help write a law, can help create a law, who can help change a law. Just look at it and say, it's unacceptable to lose one person through suicide, but the fact of how many first responders they're losing on a daily basis because they were they were unable to continue a job and then they were just basically you're put out into the pasture for the wolves to slowly start feeding on because there's no support from the people that you had to leave. It's not. I didn't choose to leave. I didn't want to leave. I was perfectly happy to retire as a police officer. I just had something happen, and once again, I have a I have I have a medical issue that's the thing. I have a medical issue that did not allow me to do that job anymore. Didn't
Mhm.
mean I couldn't do a job. I couldn't do that job anymore. So where's the, where, there was, I mean, I basically, it's like, I, when I was 16, went to work at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Hell, they could just fire me tomorrow. And it, business as usual. That's what it was with me when I had to walk away. It's business as usual. I'm glad it's business as usual because you don't want, but they also lost somebody with 26 years of experience that didn't have to rely on other people to answer questions for them to do their job.
Right.
And I I mean I had value. I had value and experience, you know, but at the end of the day, um, no one appreciates that value.
Well, they don't understand the value. I think it's the biggest piece. They don't understand how much money would
They
be.
don't appreciate it either.
Sure. No, they don't. I mean, well, we've lost value with things because things are so easily reproduced. But that's a big pendulum
But
shift.
they're not.
It will come
They're
back.
not easily. They're
I'm just
not
thinking about
easily.
I'm thinking about furniture.
Yeah, but
About IKEA. I mean, it's true. It's like IKEA and Netflix and all these things, right? It's probably just in our mindset. It's like, oh, that's easy to replace, easy to replace, easy to
yeah,
replace.
but
Cars, easy to replace.
if I can't change your mindset, how am I going to change your mindset?
It's the value of a human.
It's not, I'm not even going to say human. I'm going to say it's a value of that experience, of that knowledge,
That's right.
of that, you know, when I first started work, if I stopped you, you got a ticket because that's my job. Okay. Um, Later on in life, it became, I stopped you because for some reason you're doing something that's one considered a violation of the law, and two considered a safety risk or safety hazard, and three, I got to give you an opportunity. I don't have to spend a lot of time with you, but I should be able to in that first part of that conversation with you when I approach the car, should be able to tell if maybe your best way of being handled today is with a this is why you don't need to be speeding and you know I understand you're having a bad day and I've had bad days and it would be nice to get a break here and there and so here's your break, you know, I'm saving you $150 on this speeding ticket, but I'm just asking that you take the time to think about your action before you do it next time. And sometimes that's the best medicine, you know, just
I
somebody
think
giving
kindness,
somebody a break.
I think kindness is a very good medicine that we don't even think about.
Yeah, but understand something. I mean, nobody looks at it that way, but most of the time, 95% of the time you have an interaction with say a law enforcement officer, they're being kind to you. It just sucks what's happening to you, but they're still being kind to you. And whether you want to admit it or not, um, speed kills. And somebody stopping you that when you're going 20 miles an hour over the speed limit may have saved your life and you just don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know, but all we know to do is to get angry because we're throwing money away because we got caught speeding. Well, you know, getting caught speeding, that's just if you drive, sooner or later that's going to happen. You know, it sucks, but it is what it is. But you know, I've seen enough destruction from that to where in general I set my I mean I drove over here to Charleston and I set my cruise 2 miles over speed limit and that's what I do. I don't want to get pulled over because it's a waste of money, but um also I'm just not in a hurry. There's just no reason to be in a hurry. You know, saving yourself 5 minutes is it's not worth anybody's life.
Yeah. But you've seen that. You get it.
Yeah, but I don't even know where the hell this point was going to because I just jibber jabbered so much. But I guess my thing is
Kindness.
yeah, and I don't. It doesn't matter what job you have. Take pride in your job, but it's hard to take pride if people aren't going to show you any respect back at the end of the day.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And I truly feel like right now first responders are getting zero respect. You know, all you hear about, so they need more training. They need more training. I won't argue that everybody needs more training. Whatever job you do, you always need training. But the problem is these people that are saying you need more training. Well, maybe you want to check your attitude in the mirror and see just if you aren't part of the reason why they might need more training because you're being a dick all the time.
True.
There's
Yeah.
no respect shown in this world. It's you have no right. You have no right to do this. You have no right to do this. This is a free country. I can say what I want to say. It's called respect.
No,
Show your respect to somebody. You know, if I
we're
give
not
you a
taught
reason
that.
not to respect me, no, we're
Respect.
not.
Yeah. Respect and kindness. We're taught that we matter and I matter. And it's right. You're right. We do matter. But it's more so we're being taught to be a little bit self-absorbed and defend our own self-actions instead of recognizing that people around us are people too.
Nobody's perfect. Okay. If you're judging somebody that way, then you're just going to be miserable your whole life. Um, and it's not easy not to judge people. We know that. I mean, people judge you on a daily basis and think you're rich because you own a business. You know,
Like I my hat.
well, I don't think it's that. I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay. I don't think it's that, but um, people don't realize in your case, excuse me, not only would you not have more time and more money if you just went back to your old job, you would have a whole lot less stress in your life.
Oh my God. Could you
You
imagine?
know,
But where would my purpose go? And then I mean, like for some reason, I want to fight the world, Dave.
yeah, because there's purpose in that other job too. So it's not
Wonder
really about
Woman
purpose.
thing. You know how to
It's
put our arms?
well, if you was Wonder Woman, first of all, that'd be hot. I'm just gonna be honest. But the, the thing is, it goes back to the kindness, like you said. You you don't have anyone to blame but yourself when it comes to kindness. It doesn't matter if you're not kind to me, if I choose whether I'm kind to you. And unfortunately, most people don't choose to be kind to me.
Right. Yeah, we've got to fix that. And I think,
How do we fix that?
I don't know, teach one, what is it? Watch one, teach one, watch one, do one, teach one. What it is?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I just think, I think kindness comes with the fact that we can't get into this subject too much because I'm,
Kindness, respect, and giving the people the ability to do what they want to do to heal.
the problem is this world, this country, these people in this country listen to people that they have never met and let them they adopt their opinion on things without truly taking the time to find out for themselves. And anybody that thinks an illegal alien, which I've never met an alien, so I'm a little confused there. But um, if somebody's been here 35 years and they've been a a a credit and a help to society, um, what's funny or good about sending them back to a country they basically didn't grow up in? They have no ties to it. Where's that? Where's that being a decent human being?
Right. Well, that's what we got to figure out, right? Because I mean, 30 years ago, there was very significant state lines and country lines and all that. And now that we've got tech and we've got all these connections, like all these lines, city, county, state, country, the lines they're all they're not getting skewed. They're coming together,
Well,
and
I think we're going backwards. I mean, we as a country finally realized that a color of somebody's skin did not dictate whether they got to go to a school, a public school, or go to a laundromat or go into a restaurant. And we basically, the government said, you're going to accept this or we just don't have no choice. So, that's how you got segregation. You got black people in the schools and stuff. And then you had women's rights, and all this. And then now we're slowly taking all that stuff back away. We're going
I hope not.
backwards.
I have a different view
What do
on
you mean you hope not? How do you not see that? Or
my
do we
my
not take away a woman's right to decide if she has been raped, whether she
that's
wants to carry
state.
that child?
That's not federal.
It's
State.
we you understand Roe v. Wade, right?
Actually, the state of
Did you
Texas.
know we took that away?
Well, because we took away the federal decision. It's not the federal decision, it's a state decision. So like even like in the state of Texas, did you know this? I didn't know this.
It's not anybody's decision.
I don't
It
disagree with you with
it's
that.
it's
The
it's
each,
it's
each
it's
state
it's
has their own. The state of Texas that's so forward pushing, do you know that they will not allow anyone to have an abortion in their state unless there's a medical emergency and you're dying, the mom's dying?
yeah, that's what I'm getting at is you want me to if and
It's
think
control,
I
Dave.
hope
I mean, we
pray
all
it
want to
never
control our own lives.
yeah, but you tell me where anybody can sit there and look, and if you have a daughter and heaven forbid she get raped, you sit there and try to explain to her, honey, I understand that this was a very violent and traumatic experience for you, but you're going to carry that baby, okay? Because that's what these political influence people want you to do.
Would you
It
say
doesn't
that
matter.
decision was
It
more?
doesn't it doesn't matter about your mental health or if you're going to harm yourself if you're forced to carry that baby. It doesn't matter. You do not matter. Only thing matters is that whether right or wrong, you got raped, but you're going to have to carry the baby.
I don't disagree with you on that, but would you say that those decisions are more based on religious thinkings instead of?
I think somewhat they are, but listen,
I don't
I
disagree.
don't
I'm right there with
I
you.
don't think
I
I
don't
don't think
care if
abortion
anybody
should
wants.
ever be used as birth control. First of all, it's not birth control, okay? But I do have enough understanding and compassion to understand that there are cases where a individual should have the right or the opportunity to explore that option if need be.
I mean, I don't
Some
disagree
people
with you at
can,
all.
some women are strong enough, they can be raped and they still realize that out of that something tragic, there still could be something positive happen. Okay. That's great for them, but not every woman's that way. But now we're forcing them to be that way, and that's not possible.
Yeah. Well, each state, it's whatever each state's doing, but it should
Well,
be a federal decision, or it's not. That's what they reversed, is that
Why? A federal decision at least
Because it
made
was
it
it
can.
was the way that Roe versus Wade. If you get into a lawyer group, they'll tell you why. But if it's
Oh,
Roe versus Wade was not intended
oh,
to be a
listen,
federal decision. It was a state to state decision.
I don't have
I still
many
think it's crap
lawyers.
though.
Hey, I don't have many lawyer friends, but
Crystal, Jesse,
I do have some. I do have
you
some. I'm
Jesse,
some. And let's just be honest, lawyers are going to argue for whatever you pay them to.
no, you're not wrong. Except Crystal
So
argues for
I
the
yeah, but she still argue if I pay her to argue that McDonald's ruined my food order for the 150th straight time. She'll go argue that for me as long as it's valid. But the thing is what I was meaning by that is I don't have to hear any arguments from lawyers or government officials, especially when 90% of them are going to be male that are never going to be in the position to where they have to make that decision. Okay. I do what's called common sense and just listen to people all throughout this country that are both men and women that actually take the time to form their own opinion. Now, I don't want to get into the religious
You know
part of
what,
it
Dave? But
because
I wonder too, though, your opinion and my opinions are very similar, but I wonder if it's because we were frontline workers and we actually saw, we weren't just talking about it. We saw this crap.
you saw the violence and stuff.
Right, but we saw and we saw the lack of support or over support or empathy or no empathy or whatever else. Like we've seen it. Like politicians should listen to first responders and frontline workers and different things like that because we're in it. We're giving you a real life update and not from a oh, it's because I felt this way. Like we see it consistently over and over and over. And if you put a first responder or a frontline healthcare worker, if you put them all in the same groups, they're all going to have very similar opinions because we're seeing facts every day, consistent patterns of things coming through. But they don't really listen. They listen to the people that talk from the bridges above, and they don't
They
have any
listen to
clue.
people that's got no experience or no qualifications or the wrong gender. Uh, um, um, I'm I'm not an advocate for abortion. I'm not an advocate against abortion. I'm an advocate for using common sense.
Yep.
And
Your benefits and risks. You're looking at benefits and risks, which is what you should do in every situation.
oh, listen, I had no concept until a wonderful lady, I think you know her too. Um, I call her joy to be around because she's straightforward. But Miss Deborah Bush, um, she explained to me about when she was a nurse. I had no idea some people, some women just at 8 months would go get an abortion because they got mad at their baby daddy. I had no concept of that. I can't imagine somebody doing that. So I definitely, I'm just saying we can't treat it all as one way. There are
Right.
circumstances out there,
Yeah, but they all should be
and
considered in a case by case.
and yeah, and no one should be shamed for their decision.
Right. Well, yeah. No, I agree with that, but that's what we're really good at doing is shaming everyone, I think.
Yeah, that's all we do. That I I go back to the whole McDonald's thing on you go from giving your customers a free French fry because they sat in a drive-through line for 10 minutes to all of a sudden that's acceptable now. It's a standard. And now we think it would be better for our customers if we quit giving free refills. Well, okay, probably if McDonald's really did some research instead of just looking at numbers on a computer, but actually got out there and stuff. Most people after COVID, they don't eat them. They go through drive-throughs or they do mobile app orders like I do. And I go in and I get a drink and I fill it up. And of course, yeah, I drink like 3 or 4 good drinks of it and then I refill it up. And then I get it and I get my food and I leave. So I'm not getting extra refills really. So the amount of refills that people used to get versus now is drastically changed anyways. But now you're thinking it's a good idea to take that away. I mean, that was something in my time growing up, that was a huge thing when they put the drinks out to where you could get your own refill.
Mhm.
You know, and let's be honest, they make enough off that original price of that drink to pay for 5 refills for you.
Yeah, you're right.
But for some reason, somebody has told the upper echelon of McDonald's employer, the company, that hey, we need to take away free refills. That's that's that's
Well, I'm
that's a
going to be
good plan.
contacting the congressman. You're going to be contacting McDonald's CEOs.
I'm not because they don't. First of all, I'll always go back to this with you. I'm not contacting anybody because I couldn't even get a local television station to even have the decency to respond to my email about a life-saving thing. And at least say, we're sorry, it's just not something that we can take to our viewers. They didn't have the decency to send me that email. But yet I can probably call them tomorrow and tell them I just found 5 little puppies in a ditch and they'll have a crew down there in a second.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's like I
horrible.
said, I'm not contacting anybody. But I lived through hope through you, and
Well, I'm going to keep
I'm
everybody entertained. Don't worry. As long as I don't die, everybody's going to be entertained while I'm like running
now.
through
Why'd you say
all
that?
these things.
Because like when you say that, oh, and this is the honest truth. This truly just happened. When you said that, my heart skipped like it reacted.
Oh,
Like the
you
the
care about me.
oh yeah, but besides that, this the
Oh,
fear of there is no one else that I know that is fighting this hard for us. And when I say us, I mean people,
well, thank you.
individuals. And that's part of my problem with this mental health is that was just a statement you made, and that's your thought process. As long as you don't die, you're not quitting. I automatically go to the death part of it.
Yeah.
I ignore everything else you
Catastrophic failure.
said. Yes. And I
Well, don't worry. I had my
cannot get
psilocybin
away
trip a
from
few
it.
years ago, and I had a conversation with God for 4 hours that this is my mission and I'm not going to fail. So we're not succeeding yet, Dave. So we've got time on the plate.
Who'd you have
I
who'd you
had a
talk
4 hour
to?
conversation with God for 4 hours.
Oh, well, that's not very long. I had a conversation with him today coming up here or coming over here to Charleston. I have a lot of conversations with him, and some of them are friendly, and some of them are very angry. And I believe it's healthy either way. But my biggest conversation I have with him is, can you give me some rest for a minute? You know, can you? I understand if you have a plan for me, and this is part of the plan, but can you schedule a little 5 day intermission, like a little vacation for me
Just a
to where
second.
I don't, so I don't do catastrophic
I think
thinking
that's why
because,
God put me on the BBI is to help give you a break.
well, wait a minute, he's
I'll
not putting
sign
me
you
on the
up.
BBI.
Sign you
He's
up there,
not.
Dave.
If you can ever prove to me, because I mean, let's be honest, I can't afford, I've never been able to afford anything mental health
Oh, that's
wise.
one thing with the retreats, right? Is people can pay them off over a year.
Yeah, and that's great. That is wonderful.
Because we work,
Um,
yeah, because we've tried to make all these things affordable.
see the problem, but you know what? How much more affordable would it be if I could drive down to Knoxville?
And insurance cover it.
I wouldn't even, it's not even about the insurance. I don't even have the option to drive to Knoxville and try. I've got to blindly trust an individual. Let's say if I didn't know you, I have to blindly trust an individual in the medical field that says that this can help me. And I've got to come up with, let's just say, what do you think, $5,500? That would cover your flights and everything, right? Probably.
Okay. Oh yeah, at least that. I mean, like
Yeah,
not at least that, at max that.
right. So I've got to come up with that and take a blind leap of faith that it's going to work. And you know what? It may work on 90% of the people, but I'm always going to go, what if I'm one of that 10%? Because I feel like I'm one of the 10% right now that while ketamine does help me, it has not got me where I've seen so many people get to. I have seen people that did ketamine that have you would never know that they ever had some type of a mental issue.
It's awesome.
And I'm jealous. I'm beyond jealous. And I'm thankful that they are. But I'm very jealous because I'm envious because and I'm angry because it wasn't me. You know, I want everybody to get better, but who do you think I want to get better first? Me.
Yeah.
Because if I'm better, then I'm just that much stronger at this is my life now. I'm not going to stop fighting until I die. You know,
See?
my problem is I have things in my head that want me to die every day. And I need them gone. I need to be strong to fight this fight.
Yep.
And I'm just the opposite. I get more tired every day,
Yeah. Well,
you know.
it's perseverance. I mean, it's all of us, you know.
Yeah, but I told you we don't have that time. We
Well,
don't have that time for me. We don't have that time for 1,000 other people right now just sitting there figuring out whether they can make it till tomorrow.
mm,
It's real life. It's not a fake. It's not fake. It's not a joke. You know, and it's time to quit sugarcoating it. It's time to start talking about suicidal thoughts. It's time. It's not. It's talking about it doesn't mean it's accepting it. You should never accept suicide. It should not be accepted. It shouldn't be. But to shame people and make them feel embarrassed for talking about it is all you've done is you've just closed that door that much more. And when that door closes, they know. I mean, I'm wait, if someone talking about suicide shocks your conscience, you need to get out in this world. You need to walk around for one day. You're going to see a lot of shit that shocks your conscience.
mhm.
That's a lot worse than someone admitting that they're struggling to stay alive.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean,
And we should be able to tell you, we should be able to tell a medical provider without the fear of being committed for 36 hours.
mhm. Well, and it's so stone, you know, it's so archaic with the way that our system is now. I do think psychedelics are pushing it forward well to where we're like
Oh,
community, like everybody has mental health, like and, you know, psychedelics and marijuana. They're pushing these to say these are normal issues that people have. Like, how do we best support them? Not lock them up and throw away the key, which is what we do in the traditional mental health system. But it's
you,
getting
you
there. We're just so close to it.
I,
We can't see the
I,
change.
I'm not saying there's not been movement in a
There is
positive
movement.
movement,
That's right.
but I also even even back when let's just say 2012 when me and Grim were going to work and all I wanted to do was find drugs. I wanted my boy to get his Kong. I wanted to be proud of him for doing his job. But even back then, let's take something like marijuana. I knew it had medical benefits.
Hmm.
Okay, I knew that. Even though I knew it was illegal, I knew it had medical benefits. It didn't mean that I didn't bust you for it, but it also meant that I also listened first before I just automatically said, oh, you have marijuana, you're a criminal. Please give me a break. But the thing is if a cop that works a drug dog can sit there and go, okay, they're taking this marijuana, they're using marijuana to help their pain from their cancer. because they don't want to be hooked on Oxycontin or something similar to that. But something grown out of the ground's illegal, while something manufactured in a lab that they make money off of is perfectly legal and highly addictive. We've got to, there's where we've got to change.
Well, and I think you summed it up perfectly right there. You're absolutely right.
And- yeah. So let's hope Mr. Birchfield,
Mr. Birchfield, I'll be calling you up, buddy.
let's hope that he's open to to I'm and honestly, I don't want you to meet him in his office and talk to him about it.
No,
If he
he's in
can't get,
DC.
but I'm just saying, if he can't get on here and talk to, I don't know if anybody's watching this right now. I hope they are, but if he's not willing to get on here and just let people hear his speaking, not what we transcribe from it. I have no intentions of attacking anybody. I want to hear their side and their thinking and hear what their obstacles are, what they would have to jump through, and what I can do to help them jump through it.
Mhm.
I'll go sleep in my car for 5 days in Washington if I need to speak for 2 minutes on this. You know, look what this fight has cost you money wise, out of your pocket, person, out of your pocket. Look what it cost me out of my pocket.
Mhm.
You know, it's a money thing, but it's not a money thing, because if it was a money thing, I would be dead right now. It's an inconvenience that I have to find a way to get the money, but it's worth getting the money. If I have to go pick cans up along the road to get enough money to go to Washington to speak to somebody, oh by gosh, do it tomorrow.
Yeah, but you've got that fighting spirit, and the piece of it is the people that
I'm losing
have
it though.
never
That's what
been
I'm trying to tell
right. The
you.
people that have never had the fighting spirit, and they just need some support, and that's what I'm fighting for. Is
They
like
need hope,
them to help support them. Yeah,
but support support only goes so far. If you don't have the hope to go with the support.
that's what I'm saying. Is like financial support, mental health support,
Hey,
emotional
what's that heart mean?
means
What's
everybody
it?
loved. I don't know.
Uh, I mean, I've got a shirt. I got a sweatshirt, pretty cool sweatshirt. I still wear it, but it says hope on it.
That's
I
right.
I I, I got it from Revivalists. Might have taken it without. Um, well, let me just say this: it may have been taken borrowed. Let me just say borrowed, with maybe not everybody knowing it was borrowed. People knew it was borrowed, um, but um, I don't think you would probably knew it, and you were the one who bought them. So that probably might have been a little sneaky on my part. But either way, I still live by that hope.
Hmm. It's a
That's
word.
the only thing I got.
That's right.
So
Love
so
and hope. Love, faith,
well,
and hope.
hey, so it, uh, well, I want to go back to the BVI thing real quick. Um, if anybody wants to know whether that's right for them or not, or a possibility for them, it doesn't cost them anything to call and get that
No,
information,
I
does it?
I usually I'm one of the people who call them directly and talk to him about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't let the. I guess my thing is, yes, that's money, but don't let that. Don't just count it out because of that.
Well, there's some people
If
out there that,
you need help, if you need help, then you need to at least find out if that help that kind of treatment can, if it can help you, then you need to explore it and then figure out how you can get to it.
well, and $3,900 for 4 days, all inclusive for these
Yeah,
is
it's not. It's
nothing
honestly not bad.
because
I agree.
some
Because I
places,
travel every week.
Yeah.
I know a 2 day trip that I took to Minnesota last week. I flew in on a Tuesday, flew back home on a Wednesday. Um, just my expense report, and I do it cheap, was still $2,000 for a
Yep.
day.
Yep.
I was I flew to Miami and flew back the next. I wasn't in Miami 24 hours, and it was over 2,000.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It is
But
crazy.
what I'm saying is yeah, no matter what you do, half the things we do, we can't afford it. We find a way to do it. So take the time if you're struggling mentally to make a phone call and see, because you're very honest about, you don't want somebody to put all their life on mushrooms, making them better, and then when it doesn't, they end their life. You don't want that. So you're not going to lie to them, and you're not going to tell everybody, hey, yeah, it's going to help you. It'll cure you. You're not going to do that. I know somebody personally that you told them that they weren't ready for ketamine. You didn't think they needed ketamine at this point. Um, I mean, that speaks volumes in that you didn't want to just take their money,
Yeah.
because you could have.
Right.
Because I mean, honestly, we're just looking for a little glimmer of hope, and and you know, I didn't have to pay for 6 treatments the first time I came there. You said, let's do this one. You can tell me if you think you want another one. Just that right there puts a lot of trust in in that agreement. Because most places pretty much nowadays you pay for it all up front.
Right.
And then if you don't do it all, half the time you don't get a refund, or if you do get a refund, it's after you fight with them for a year.
Mhm.
So my thing about the and it's not something that I like. I'm I will have deep discussions with you about it. But also I've always told you I won't go do that, because right now that's my last hope, and I need to keep that hope. That would help. My problem is my help is I want my help to be, I want to enjoy life. I the ketamine helps me. It keeps me alive. So I just have, that's a dream I have, that I can be better. And right now my last shot is mushrooms, and I don't want to take it, because if that doesn't work, I don't want my thinking, my catastrophic thinking, to make me think I can't, I'll never have an opportunity to enjoy life better. And don't get me wrong, I know some of that still has to start with me quitting the pity party, the feeling sorry, understanding that you may not like meditation, but it may help.
No, look at
I'm
that.
not doing yoga though.
Open-mindedness.
I'm not doing any yoga. I don't look good in those tights, and I don't think if when I grew up in Denise Austin, she was hot doing her little workout routine, and she was always in tights. I just think if Richard Simmons was in tights, I don't look good in tights, so I can't wear them. And I think if you do yoga, you ought to be in tights.
I love it. Well, one day I'll break you. All right. I've got 4% battery.
That's your fault.
I know.
Hey, uh, so next week you'll hopefully be able to give us an update on having a
Representative.
yeah, a representative of the people on the show in the near future.
That's right. I'm going to go for it. So, what's your word of advice, people out there listening? Take the step to
Um, I'll tell you, I'm just gonna challenge everybody. When I say everybody, it may just be me and you, the only ones ever watch it. But somewhere along your path this week, take the time to talk to someone that's maybe you don't know or maybe you know real well. Just take the time to acknowledge them.
Yep. I think that's a
You
great
know,
idea. I do that actually a lot more now, and I'll do it with people.
it's
You know,
not easy though, is it?
no, it's not, but I'll ask them, if there's any type of conversation, I'll usually ask them their name too, so it makes it more personal. But it's
Yeah. We're all busy. I mean, everybody, every day, everybody's busy. You're occupied with something. And I have to make myself stop for a second and just check on somebody, just say hi to somebody, you know, or send somebody $10 and say, pay it forward. Somebody's got to start it. What's wrong with you starting it every once in a while and paying it forward? You know, they don't have to. And if they don't pay it forward, that's okay. You pay. You can feel good that you made them smile at least for a minute because all of a sudden they have $10 to get a cup of coffee that shouldn't cost more than $1.25, but some of these places charge like $15 for it because it's a mocha chocolate fucker much a month and it's got some of this in it. And I don't even know, like, how do these people, somebody that's, how do you all of a sudden decide that a double frappuccino with two extra splashes of
they
this and
call
that?
that
I
the
mean,
Dave Shell. That's what I heard.
where do you find like I mean, I mean, it's so cool to hear some of these people order this stuff. And I'm like,
There's a
what did
secret
you
menu.
ever?
There's a secret menu at Starbucks or something.
Yeah, but who thought to put all that ingredients in a coffee?
I don't know.
That's wild. But honestly, everybody just try to make someone smile.
That's one thing you have control of is taking a step to be kind.
It is your. I don't need to say nothing else.
All right.
Boom.
Until next week, get some rest. Joy Charleston, represent.
Good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
I didn't do that. I don't even know.
I saw it.
Hey, stay on it. I need to ask you something.
All right. Let's see. Hold on.